Till date, India has not been able to produce any credible and verifiable evidence of Pakistan's involvement in the attack. To the contrary, the acts of aggression committed by its armed forces had the approval and support of its entire government. Thus, it is India that has escalated the situation by violating Pakistan's sovereignty and killing civilians. The Pakistani forces did not attack Pahalgam, but the Indian forces did attack multiple locations in Pakistan. Accordingly, Pakistan reserves the right to take all appropriate measures in its self-defense as enshrined in Article 51 of the UN Charter. Second, on 26 April 2025, the Prime Minister of Pakistan proposed a transparent and independent probe into Pahalgam attack through neutral investigators. However, India chose the path of belligerence and aggression. We are amazed to see the importance that the Indian government attaches to the anonymous and dubious social media post upon which it has built the case for the resistance front's involvement in the Pahalgam attack. Can any country in the world be allowed to attack another country on the basis of few social media posts? India is attempting to act as the judge, jury, and executioner. Third, the investigations in the Mumbai and Pathankot could not make progress due to India's non-cooperative attitude. For past several years, we have been asking the Indian side for physical appearance of the 27 key witnesses of the Mumbai attack case before the trial court in Islamabad. However, India remains reluctant to send them to Pakistan even today. As a result, the judicial proceedings remain stalled. Fourth, while India portrays itself as a victim of terror, it conveniently ignores its own role in planning, sponsoring, and abetting terrorism in Pakistan. It is no secret that India's network of targeted assassination and other subversive activities has gone global. Commander Kulbhushan Yadav, a serving officer of the Indian Navy, is a living proof of the Indian state's involvement in terror, subversion, and espionage in Pakistan. At this occasion, I should also remember the victims of Samjhauta Express tragedy, in which over 40 Pakistani citizens were killed by Hindu extremists. Most regrettably, the culprits behind this tragedy, who had links with India's ruling dispensation, were acquitted. We are fully justified to ask whether the victims of Samjhauta Express tragedy are children of a lesser god. Fifth, the Indian claims of targeting the terrorist or terrorist infrastructure only are patently false. It is a matter of record that the Indian strikes resulted in martyrdom of civilians, including women and children. It also is a matter of public knowledge that some mosques were also destroyed or damaged during the Indian aggression. Similarly, parts of the Neelam Jhelum hydroelectric project were damaged due to the Indian shelling, which is inter alia, a violation of international conventions. We are well within our rights to demand that India should be held accountable for these crimes. Sixth, the Indus Water Treaty has been a successful water sharing arrangement between the two neighboring states. The treaty withstood tests of wars and standoffs. However, the current Indian dispensation is bent upon weaponizing water. Holding in abeyance of Indus Water Treaty is unilateral and illegal. There are no such provisions in the treaty. This action shows India's blatant disregard for the sanctity of international treaties. It sets a dangerous precedent. It strikes at the fundamental pillar of regional cooperation with profound implications for regional and global stability. Pakistan is an agrarian economy. Millions of people are dependent on the waters being regulated by the treaty. The Indian decision is equivalent to an attack on the people of Pakistan and its economy. For Pakistan, the Indian announcement is of no legal consequence. The treaty remains in force and fully binding on the parties. The Indian allegation of Pakistan's refusal to enter into government-to-government negotiations are also incorrect. Pakistan has been continuously engaged with India on the subject. Last but not the least, we particularly regret the Indian Foreign Secretary's indecent and undiplomatic remarks that Pakistan has been in the habit of lying since its creation in 1947. We expected better from a diplomat of his status. It is most unfortunate that nowadays India's ruling dispensation is trying to rewrite history, making a number of absurd claims. India's founding fathers must be turning in their graves. We wish to remind them that it was India that took the Jammu and Kashmir dispute to the United Nations. Today, how can it renege from its own commitments made to the United Nations, to Pakistan, and above all to the Kashmiri people? In fact, India remains a permanent factor of instability in the region, owing to its hegemonic ambitions. It has constantly been working to destabilize its smaller neighbors and has stonewalled all efforts to promote regional cooperation. I thank you. I'll take one or two questions. Paracha Saab.
Thank you so much, sir. How do you assess the war hysteria created by Indian media, especially last night? Thank you, sir.
Paracha Saab, the conduct of Indian media last night was extremely irresponsible and jingoistic. And frankly, disinformation is one thing, but the conduct of Indian media yesterday was indeed farcical. Encouraged by the Indian state, its media tried to create an alarming situation. The repeated pattern of leveling accusations against Pakistan without any credible investigation reflects a deliberate strategy to manufacture a pretext for aggression and to further destabilize the region. Such actions not only further endanger regional peace, but also reveal a disturbing willingness to exploit misinformation for political and military ends. Thank you. Ji, Anas Saab.
And since you mentioned about the Indus Water Treaties being still being enforced, India has said that it has written a letter with regards to the suspension of the treaty. How does Pakistan have to respond on that? Thank you.
Thank you, Anas Saab. We have responded to the Indian letters by conveying that the treaty remains fully in force and is binding on the parties. There is no provision in the treaty to hold it in abeyance. And I may also repeat what I said in my opening remarks. The Indus Water Treaty has been a successful water sharing arrangement between the two neighboring countries. The treaty has withstood tests of wars and standoffs. However, the current Indian dispensation is bent upon weaponizing water. Holding in abeyance of Indus Water Treaty is unilateral and illegal. There are no such provisions in the treaty. This action shows India's blatant disregard for the sanctity of international treaties. It sets a dangerous precedent. It strikes a fundamental pillar of regional cooperation with profound implications for regional and global stability. Pakistan is an agrarian economy. Millions of people are dependent on the water being regulated by this treaty. The Indian decision is equivalent to an attack on the people of Pakistan and its economy.